Okay, we're now
So,
recording. Starting session 5 of the Bonegarden, picking up with the group's adventures in Descent. We have almost a full house tonight, but Hoffman, the clockwork tinkering goblin, won't be able to make it, but everyone else should be. So we left off. You guys were in up here in number 22, Glix. That's the magic shop. It's number 22. It's
we
got a
were hot on the trail of the silver seed, but
yeah.
it's a little trickier now.
It's wines, herbs, and delectables is what it's called. And Glix is a jovial man in a big feathered cap. Um, he also sells barrels and bottles of something, a slightly salty drink called sanguine wine.
Hey, Egan.
I don't
Yes?
recall
I
if anyone had drank any yet.
of
I
what?
The
went
sa-
and bought a bottle of sanguine wine and
uh-huh.
then some other, uh,
Okay.
another bottle of mid range stuff to share with the proprietors. They talked about books and
Oh yeah.
what he was looking out for.
And if you'll refresh my memory on that, please, Russ. Sorry.
He was looking for any kind of spell books or anything that has to do with. He was thumbing through his herbalism books
Okay.
and he wanted to get a better feel for where to start as far as his selection goes. But anything that has to do with magic, he'd also be interested in.
Well, aside from actual spell books, any sort of books on theoretical properties of magic and alchemy and things like that can be found here. A lot of them are written in the language of the Drow and some other languages of whatever we're going to call the Underdark in this setting. We all know what the Underdark is. We can call it that. This isn't a published adventure from Wizards of the Coast or anything, but we get it. It's this vast underground society. Um, so unless your character would know any of those languages, it's just strange markings. Um, so
Well, he
is
would have the
is
ability
go ahead. Sorry.
to study and learn how to comprehend languages.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be outside of his interest just because the languages are different.
Okay.
Hey, Egan.
Yes, Timber?
Thought just occurred to me. You're looking for this seed that's bigger than me. Have you
Yes.
seen the seed or just had it described to you?
I have seen it before, yes.
So you're so you can make a good mental picture, and it's not just a guess, right?
Yes.
Well, I was thinking, it would take a while to be able to you know, develop this as a sense, but I've heard some of my kinfolk being able to do something like help you find a specific item.
Oh?
I've heard of such a thing, but I don't know. I've never really seen it done. But I just wanted to make sure that you didn't just have it described because I think you really had to be able to picture this really, really hard.
All right. Uh, that doesn't get me much of anywhere, but thank you for trying to help nonetheless.
Well, of course, I'll keep looking for it, but actually, if I find it on my own, I don't know what the heck I would do. I mean, I could probably like sleep
Come and
on
tell
it.
me about it, I hope.
I could probably sleep on it,
Hmm,
talk to it.
maybe. But say, Katla, if
Mhm.
you had something very valuable and you had stumbled upon this kind of city, where would you go with it?
Hmm. I would probably find the shadiest guy I could
Huh?
on the street corner.
Uh,
To
what?
sell it?
Well, yeah.
Hmm. I suppose that makes sense.
So we just gotta look for the weirdest looking folks. But I guess everybody's weird here, right?
There are several people that fit that description. Yes.
Well, I'm looking at the map. Um, I mean, this market looks pretty shady, right?
Yes.
So their
Have you
place is
tried there?
shady.
I believe we've looked through all the normal things, but we haven't gone into any of the back alleys or anything like
Hmm.
that. Definitely the weirdest thing we've seen so far was that gnome that was selling, what was it, ears and
I
fingers?
think it was eyes and ears. I think that's what it was called.
Eyes and ears. Okay, yeah.
Well, I'm curious as to what the processor is.
They do something
They do so, yeah, yeah.
with
They
whatever material it is
they
they
did
get
the
out of the wood.
ore, the
The,
exploding ore.
yeah, the dreadium.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no fun. What about this Ranny place? We haven't been there yet, have we?
Nope.
Wait,
I don't
what's a
know.
zookeeper?
The zookeeper is where you bought your Almirage.
I
Which
thought that was like one of those small little.
no,
Okay.
it's one of your bunny is still zonked out from the knockout poison. We'll see what happens when it wakes
Oh
up.
yeah, Cat. Just because you weren't here, I bought a bunny that's bigger than me. I could probably ride the bunny.
Oh,
He's size -3. I'm size
Yeah,
-4.
there's a picture of it in the Discord.
cute. Ah. Um.
Except the guy was keeping him stoned so that he wouldn't just teleport off.
There was also a camel for sale that eats magic.
Like
Yeah,
magic, like
it's called a
little bits of magic.
it's called a disenchanter. It kind of looks like a blue camel with an elephant nose, like an elephant trunk, and
Uh-huh.
it suctions the trunk onto a magic item and drains the magic out of it and eats it.
Yeah. I am.
Oh, well, that's
I,
inconvenient, but he's
I have.
cute.
I have been scared beyond belief in many a game when we run into one of those things.
Well, let's go to this
Yeah,
Ranny place and
Russ
we'll
put a
go look at
picture
some
of
guys in trench coats.
Russ put a picture of the disenchanter in the Discord. He's slurping the magic off someone's staff.
Almost as
Oh,
bad as a rust
that's
monster.
Oh,
oh weird. Ooh.
No, that's the disenchanter. Rust Monster wouldn't be interested in a wooden staff.
I'd say a disenchanter is worse than a rust monster.
right.
Yeah, but in lower
It's it,
levels,
it's a rust monster for magic items. Rust monsters eat your weapons and armor, and then the disenchanter comes along and eats all your wizard spell books.
of course, the druid doesn't give a darn about the rust monster, pretty much.
Yeah. So do you guys want to go visit Ronnie the Protector?
Sure.
I won't argue again. So
Okay.
who's carrying
Um,
a bunny?
before they before everybody leaves, Rourke would like to turn the conversation to
Okay.
different plants
Hmm.
and what's available in Descent, since he has all these books on herbalism and poisons and
Oh yeah.
whatnot.
Uh,
And he asked about anything that with magical properties.
around here in Descent itself, there's your typical subterranean mushrooms and fungi. There are plants that grow above ground. There are at least a few apple trees that the living members of the in the bone garden are trying to keep the apple trees productive. And of course, the undead generally have no interest in them. Um,
Well,
and then up from below, there's also another wide variety of fungus that come up through the Underdark with the Drow. There's the glowing fungus, various types of edible fungus, and there are some magical fungus like brown mold and yellow mold, which is really destructive. um, you actually haven't been to the kennel yet.
Oh, okay.
The Disenchanter and the Almirage were with the Zookeeper. Here, number right here, Zookeeper.
what about stuff that's brought into Bone Garden?
Hmm. Up from below, you mean, or I mean,
Oh, we also met the peddler, so we know that there is
Midnight Peddler? Yeah.
uh, some trade from outside. So I was wondering about any magical plants or stuff like that
Is
that
there
might be.
anything in particular that you're looking for? Or, I mean,
He looks over at Egan, see if he wants to jump in on this conversation.
Uh, sorry, I was talking with Katla. What were you talking about?
Magical plants be brought in.
Mm, yes. I guess I didn't really lump in a sacred relic with magical plants. Um, but if you, I suppose there's a good chance they would be with that sort of thing,
yeah,
this
it's
unbeliever.
it is a living tree seed. It's not. It's made of silver, or is silver, but it is actually a seed.
Hmm. Yes,
But
it would be worth checking out then.
and basically he's just going on about the apple trees above ground and the various molds and fungi, and then some of the fungus are dangerous. Um, he can sell ceramic orbs filled with green slime if you're interested in that.
Uh, no, not quite what I had in mind.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to indicate that there'd be the magic tree seed or anything like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Rourke was trying to be,
Discreet, yeah,
give
yeah,
respect.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate you thinking about such things on my behalf. Good to have different perspectives sometimes.
So he's asking, like, is there a market for these such things since you deal with, magic apples and stuff like that? Like, would they all come through this shop or would they be available elsewhere?
Well, any Apple merchants usually set up a temporary stall in the market. He says, um, but usually the molds and fungi come to me as I deal in such delectables. I think the buried living has a special contact with the drow down below for certain types of edible fungi, but that's about all I know of. If there's something specific you're looking for, the next time I go down below to make a shipment, or to deliver a shipment, or receive a shipment from the drow, I could certainly check for you.
I'd certainly be interested in any of these possible alchemical
Of course.
ingredients. And I would like to buy two of your books concerning herbology and
Oh yes,
alchemy.
by all means. And he gestures to the shelf where you can grab them.
Is there any you suggest in particular?
Ah, yes. He takes one off the shelf. This is the last copy I have of this book, and he hands it off to you. It's a kind of a heavy-handed academic treatise on the properties of various fungi, And it does have a rather comprehensive chapter of magical properties of certain fungus. So using this book will give you a +1 bonus on research checks for the properties of fungus. And he will part with it for 20 gold pieces.
Done.
Okay.
And he doesn't haggle anything.
Yeah.
So he's just
Okay. And the other one is more general treatise on what you might expect of typical herbalism. Uh, tinctures and concoctions, balms, that kind of thing. Nothing particularly special about it, and he'll let that one go for only 5. But it doesn't give you any particular bonuses. It's just interesting interesting reading along that subject. Excuse me.
well, thank you, Mr. Glix. It's been a pleasure, sir.
And he nods to you.
25 and goes ahead and tops off his glass.
Okay. Katla, give me a
Yes.
common knowledge check.
Okay. Boop. 6.
Alrighty.
Hello.
All right, just a moment.
Oh, okay, sorry, no, that's okay.
I have sent you a whisper in roll 20.
Oh. Katla perks up and she says, "What's that? Can I have some?"
Ah, are you a connoisseur of wine?
I don't think I've ever had wine before, but it just smells really good.
This, and he takes a bottle off the shelf, is my finest concoction of sanguine wine.
Please, gimme.
Well, it's not free, young lady.
I have money.
Would you like the whole
behind me.
bottle?
How much is a bottle?
Let me look it up.
Uh, Rourke will go ahead and flash the other bottle of sanguine wine that Katla or that he'd bought
Okay.
to Katla, just to let her know that we have some, but if she wants more, then he's not going to stand in the way.
It is. It would be 10 gold
The whole
pieces.
bottle.
10 gold pieces a bottle.
Okay, then I hand him 10 gold pieces after counting them out painfully. 1, 2.
And I know your character has a young hindrance. Ordinarily, I would be against this, but but Glix doesn't care.
She doesn't really have a biology, if I understand.
No, she is alive. She is not undead. She is just closer to undead than anyone living has a right to be.
So she
Oh,
will
the
take the
Half-Life?
bottle and just chug the whole thing.
Whoa, whoa, easy there, miss. It is still wine, There is whew. I believe she was a bit thirsty. It,
Rourke
it,
pushes back away.
it is a bit much to chug all at once, so you get a couple of good hearty gulps before you have to slow down. But it is quite delicious.
But it's so good.
It is.
I really like this. Oh, it's so salty.
Um, but it does have this nice, rich red color as she wipes her mouth. So you guys gonna head out there and go over to Ronnie, or are you gonna go to the kennel, or where do we want to go? Oh, you have already secured rooms at the Buried Living, so you have rooms. That's where we're gonna say Dustin's character is working on the headless pawn. Um, the,
I know that you don't really, you're not really a food shop, but I think that my little friend here is gonna be a little bit unusual. Uh, do you know anything about the care and feeding of magical beasts?
I guess you're holding, you're gesturing to the Amirage.
Yes, the
Well,
fairy.
I'm
Yeah,
sitting like in front of it or
yeah.
standing in front of it.
From what I understand, those creatures are not so unusual, not so different from regular rabbits. They would eat a similar type of food, grasses and grains, and of course you'll need water and to clean up after it. I don't think they do well in captivity. So
Oh, I'm keeping him in this to keep him safe because right now he's not. Uh, I think the zookeeper was not very nice with him.
I see.
But I need to convince him that I really do want to be a friend first.
Good luck with that, he says with a smile.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You are welcome. And I think to those of you, did you guys do a detect magic in here?
It wouldn't have been me, Ruth.
Don't think so. I don't know. That's all right.
I thought he was using it fairly
Yeah.
widely last session.
Uh, I'm going to put myself on mute for a moment. You guys can talk amongst yourselves from the bit. I'll be right back. Basically, a quick bio break. If somebody else wants to go, I'll be right back.
Okay. How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
Pretty good. How about yours?
It was really good. So I had my second Thanksgiving meal of the day, because there were so many leftovers. So I'm like carbed up.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, but it's the best. Oh, that mac and cheese though.
You're like, don't do that. She's like, it's already done.
It's it's well past done.
uh, it's so boring for me. Although I enjoyed myself, we had well, I had no choice. My parent had to actually cook outside, even though she didn't want to stink up the house like cooking it. We made like
Dink.
a
Come on
some
now.
we
Meatballs.
yeah. You know I'm low carb, right?
Uh,
Oh, I did not know that. Um,
It's
I
been a while, and I
basically
don't tend to eat in front of a group that much.
I see. I basically am a carb at this point. Um, being a vegetarian really limits how much protein you can have at Thanksgiving.
Um, I've heard of some people
wait.
now. I'm actually a bit more on ketovore, which is keto with a strong emphasis on carn. And while we wouldn't see eye to eye on what to eat, I know of a lot of keto and low carb people who are successfully veg.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, so I'm just saying it's possible. It's all
Sure.
about you limit the and I'm not trying to lecture them, but it's all about limiting the sugar, limiting the carbs, and being well. I think you have to be a little bit smarter as a vegetarian, just because like veg carries carbs with it, but
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure you have your different macros. But I'm not an expert by any stretch, so I don't want to give anything that sounds like medical advice. as
I'm back.
Uh,
keto vegetarians.
what's
That was
keto, and how do you have vegan mac and cheese?
Well, it's vegetarian, not vegan.
So
yeah.
I eat cheese and milk products and some egg products.
Ah, cool,
Although,
cool.
yeah,
But
I
it's
tried
all
being
about
vegan and it was fine if you don't have any friends and you never go anywhere. But otherwise, like it makes it hard to like go out with your friends or have like a potluck or anything like that.
Not
I don't
out
know.
here in California, I tell you what. But
Mm.
I hear you.
My quick burst would be being a vegan is like being a Linux user. Uh, you might not be good at it, but everybody around you is gonna know what it is.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
uh,
that sting is I usually
I,
okay. Plants gotcha.
I had a very good Thanksgiving as well. I went to Greg's and
Good.
had
Aw.
uh, a traditional spread, which was actually quite good with turkey and stuffing and all the good stuff.
Feels yeah.
And
Sounds
and
Feels
and
good.
right.
and I too just for supper tonight finished off my to go box that I took from there.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
been
and
we're
the
still
cats got to lick the plate. They like the potato and the leftover a little bit of turkey and stuffing that I left for them. So they
Hey
nice.
Erica, do your cats do this thing where they're begging for your food, but then when you give it to them, they're like, "No,
oh yeah
it's
oh,
not mine."
oh yeah. I mean they just see you eating something. They don't know what it is until they can get a good sniff. Okay, so we can get back on track here. Um, so where are we going?
Well, definitely not to the kennel.
I think we've already kind of went down the escalator to hell.
Right. I think the
What
kennel
you
is
haven't
more
been
the
to the well
dogs,
yet?
right?
Huh?
You haven't been to the well yet.
Right.
Spoilers.
um,
I believe we were going to Ronnie.
okay,
Right.
all right. So
And
you
she
kind
wanted
of
to comment on your map. She said she really likes it as
well
a
good.
piece of art.
Well, good. I made it on online resource that Luke told me about called Incarnate, which is really neat. You can make your own maps.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
really well done.
Yep. Thank you.
Nancy, I'm talking to people.
All right. So you're kind of wandering along, la 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 la. As you go past the gallows, I need everyone to make a notice check for me, please.
Hey, I've already been back through there. Does that count as my notice check? Because I
Yeah,
think
just
I was looking
Oh,
for
son
the
of a.
inn and was sitting on it and couldn't find it.
ooh, Katla.
Nice.
Yep.
Timber still doesn't notice anything about this town.
I see Timber just like la 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 la, just walking through.
That's
No,
true,
After
Luke.
my
Chris,
timber.
Chris, literally, I failed my notice check with everything. I'm like, I couldn't find an inn, and I was sitting on it.
Right.
As you're going past the gallows, it looks like the only person who makes the roll is Katla, and she makes it
Good.
very well. As you go past the gallows, some movement underneath the gallows catches your eye. Um, and had you not gotten a raise, that's all I would say. But you got a raise,
Hmm.
so you kind of take a look at it again. And actually, I think you have low light vision, don't you? I
Yeah, I
believe
do.
you do. Yeah, so that would help as well. There is a dog under there. It's a beagle. It kind of looks like scrawny and unfed, and it's kind of shivering, and it looks absolutely miserable.
Is this Halloween Town?
Hey. Um, I will get down on one knee and
And it shies away from you. It backs away further up underneath the gallows. As remember, you have the animal aversion for being
yeah,
graveborn.
that really sucks.
It
Um,
is it kind of whimpers and backs away from you, just kind of scooching back, its tail kind of wrapped around its legs.
um, I
And
call
also
out to.
with your rays, its markings match the markings that Sabano drew for you when he was asking about his dog.
Oh, it's yeah, it's that guy's dog. And I will
Awesome.
call for Egan because he seems, I don't know,
Yeah.
the most normal, I guess. Uh,
I'll
here,
take it.
Hey, don't forget I'm down here.
with the
normal.
giant bunny.
um,
What are you talking about? I'm the normal one. You guys are all freaks.
Egan, look, it's Saban's dog. I
Oh,
think.
what?
See, under the gallows.
Oh, hey. Uh, yeah, it is. Wow.
And
Good eye.
Egan looks a little hesitant to approach, but
Yeah, I will try to attract the dog to me from where I
okay.
stand rather than approach it, I suppose.
Okay. Give me a
Um,
persuasion check, please.
okay. Does my outsider trait apply?
Not here.
Okay. Um, if I have the phobia going on,
Yeah,
that's a
that would
three.
be a three. Yeah,
So I will
it's not
persuade.
responding to you.
Okay, I will
I
persuade
get
a Benny.
could Rourke aid and hand over some
Oh,
rations? Oh, never mind.
that obviously helped.
Yes.
Oh yeah, if you use food, he comes out very cautiously. You know that you know uh, scared dog. You know, kind of leaks out a little bit and sticks his tongue out a few times, and then finally just comes in and just starts gobbling.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the poor thing hadn't eaten in a while. Probably very thirsty as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes up and starts eating and sits down and just it knocks the food out of your hand down onto the ground as it's trying to eat, getting its
I
fill.
zoom up in the air away from the dog.
Yeah, you're about mouse size, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
You're a
What
nice
size
little
is
morsel.
what size is the dog?
It's a
Nine.
beagle, so it'd be yeah, it'd be like not -2. Yeah, uh, it's a beagle, so it's your typical house
No, it's
dog
just I
size.
see all the munching and I'm
Yeah,
like, ah.
So
uh,
yeah, timber is approximately yeah, the size difference between a beagle and a person is the size difference between a timber and a beagle,
yeah,
right?
Except that's kind of exponential because like a
yeah,
beagle is like a foot long. I'm 6 inches tall. It's probably twice as tall as me, but it's like
yeah.
really
It's
long.
right, yeah. But it seems to be quite happily munching down and is kind of sniffing around looking for some more.
All right, I'll feed it a little more.
Okay. You got a 14 on your persuasion check, so the dog trusts you fairly well right now.
Okay.
It seems it comes up to you and is uh, Rourke is studying the visible bones in the pup, and as you feed it, and pulls out a journal to start sketching. Um, it's after a while, it seems like it's a little bit more comfortable around you. It still shies away from Katla, but that's a innate hindrance to her ancestry. So,
Yeah.
Wait,
uh,
so I take it this is a regular standard beagle, not
mm-hmm,
like an undead beagle.
yep.
I mean, it's a beagle of some
And
importance.
if you reach out, it'll let you pet it. Anyone else that tries to reach out and maybe try and touch it or pet the dog, it does shy away from them again, but it does seem to be trusting, very trusting of Egan.
Well, I suppose we better bring this to that man, right? At our earliest available convenience.
Hey, Katya, what did? Why did the dog go there? And was
The
it a place
gallows? I
underneath the
don't know.
gallows, or was it a bucket or something?
It was underneath.
He is someplace to hide,
Mm-hmm.
especially considering the local cuisine.
Hmm.
No, it just that was just reminiscent of a mod I played.
Right? It's or yeah, how dogs will go to like yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
to my room in the buried living,
Okay.
and I'll meet you all at Ronnie's building. Does that work?
Sure.
It shouldn't take long. Should we just wait for you outside?
Okay. Well, you know, now that I think about it twice, would
Or leave it with
he
Hoffman?
be safe there?
Hoffman's
Leave it with
there.
Hoffman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I suppose that's safe enough. There's all kinds of danger walking with him around town too. So yes, that's the plan then. To go to the buried living, drop him off with Hoffman, and go to Ronnie's.
We're pretty much right
Okay.
there anyway.
Yeah. So in here, the residences. These tumble down shacks are the homes of the people who call this hamlet home. The houses range from the squalid to the elaborate to the downright bizarre, which is also a fair assessment of their owners. So it's like this confusing little jumble of back alleys of there's Anders. Um, the party has just rescued a dog from the gallows. It was hiding underneath the gallows, and it turns out that it's probably Sibano's dog.
Sabano, the paladin.
Yep. Remember he was looking for a dog. He drew a picture, and the markings on this dog kind of match the picture. Even as childish a picture as it is, it's like that's those spots match.
I just got the one patch over the eye.
Yeah, the big spot on the back and the ring around the tail. Uh,
Oh, gee.
and
He's a
Egan,
distinguished member of our gang.
yeah, Egan rolled a 14 to persuade the dog to come out, and so it's trusting him fairly well. And of course, it seems to like you as well, since you have the druid arcane background.
Okay.
And you guys are heading here to Ronnie. Um, so you stop off for a moment. Dustin's character is going to be in the inn working on the clockwork headless pawn, just as a way to get him.
In the gallows.
Well, he's in the buried living. He's in the inn here.
Yeah.
The gallows is like a hangman gallows. There's also a.
He's in the underground city though.
Yeah, you all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go to Arani. That's ears. Me. Aw.
Yeah. Oh, what pretty babies.
Okay, you reach this place. It seems to be one of the fairly well built structures here in the residence area. It's, as you can see on the map, one of the larger areas. There are no signs or anything like that, but as you approach it, there's this delicious smell coming out of there, like fine incenses and perfumes, and it just the whole area feels better than anywhere else in Descent. It's kind of it feels nice to be here with the warm lights coming out of the windows and the delicious smells coming out of it. Um,
Makes me miss my home.
and you approach, I guess, and knock on the door, or however you wish to gain entrance, or just walk in if you're rude.
Could
Uh,
someone remind me
Pretty rude.
what Ronnie's deal is?
they just you just heard her called Ronnie the Protector.
Okay. Good.
Ronnie is the one who we were dragged to by Veronica to that runs the mining ops.
Yeah, she's a neutral party. Uh, between the two between the multiple mining operations here. She kind of organizes things. Um, and well, being kind of rude, I guess Katla just invites herself in.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm really trying to
This.
like channel my 10-year-old niece here.
Ah,
Gotcha. Um,
yeah, Rourke waits at the door.
yeah, there's some incense cones burning, and a bunch of like seasons and spices in racks along the wall. This looks like an apothecary, but there aren't any prices on anything. So this is more like a doctor's office almost than someone who would sell their wares. Um, and there's a couple of nice comfy chairs. There's some beds where you can lay down and sleep. It's just it again. It's just this whole feeling of yeah, yeah, and you see this person uh, approaches you.
She's very bald.
Floating as she is in the picture.
Yes,
Hmm.
she is hovering just a few inches off the ground, and she comes towards you. Welcome to my home. Please come in. Make yourself comfortable. I am Ronnie. And what's your name, child? And she smiles pleasantly at you. It's wonderful to meet you, Katla. What
Wow, that's a beautiful navel ring you have there.
what brings you? Hmm?
What do you have to eat?
She just smiles. I'm afraid I have no need for such sustenance. However, the buried living can provide you with all you may need to eat.
Okay.
And she notices the people hanging out by the door and she gestures to you. Please come in. What can I help you with today?
Uh,
My friends are sick.
I suppose we're here to make conversation. There's stuff that, well,
She gestures to the big comfy chairs. Please have a seat.
thank
What
you.
would you like to
For
talk
his
about?
egg or whatever.
Huh?
He's looking for his like egg or whatever.
Egg.
Yes, I am here on a holy quest to find the seed of our sacred tree. It's roughly the size of a coconut. He'll hold out his hands, to show a size. Silver looks like a walnut. That's the best way I can describe it. But I
The
also have something to talk to you about that you might want
the
to know.
final seed of the sacred tree, she says.
Sorry, say again.
She says it's the final seed of the sacred tree of the northern tribes of the orcs.
Yes, it is.
It's been
Have
lost.
you have you? I have reason to believe that it is in the area. Have you seen anyone carrying such an object around?
I have not, but now that I know that it may be here in descent, I will keep an eye out for it.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry for your tribe's loss. I hope the seed can be recovered, and I will do what I can to assist you.
I appreciate
I
that. Thank
feel
you.
I feel the truth in your words.
Well, if
Um,
that's something you can sense, then maybe you'll believe us on this other thing. Unless you wanted to say something first.
no, please
All right.
tell me what else you seek.
Well, have you heard of the paladin of the goddess of freedom who is here above ground?
uh, and her face shows a little bit more emotion, than just like pleasant greetings. She actually kind of looks sad for a little bit. Sebano.
Yes,
He suffers greatly.
he does.
And those of you who are in conversation with her and are seeing her can make an occult roll, please.
Not quite a conversation.
Well, you're in there. You can see her. Anyone who can see her basically. So Rourke got it. Oh, Katla did not. Although that is not a
Okay.
critical. That is not a crit fail. Yeah, they'd have to. If both the ones were red, that would be a crit fail.
Hmm.
um, oh, Rourke got it. Egan doesn't know. Also not a crit fail. So far, Rourke is the only one who's made the roll. She is a protector, which is how she gets her name, obviously, Ronnie the Protector. Um, she is an angelic being, so she is a full-on celestial.
Oh, I would have guessed that she was like an elemental, half Gensai or something like that.
Johan's like over there and he says, "Man, they went full Vallejo on this. The devs went
Yeah,
full Vallejo on this AI."
she has huge tracts of land. Um, so what was your other question, Luke? I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to tell. Yeah, yes. So you know about Sabano.
I do.
We don't know exactly what happened to him. I believe it is in our collective, like both yours and ours and everyone here's interest to see him restored if possible, and
She
to
she
actually.
closes she closes her eyes and shakes her head when you say that.
I see.
Such a task would be impossible because of the sacrifice, the choices that he has made.
Hmm.
Explain that.
May I pry further into this matter, if it would not displease you greatly? As in,
How he came to the Bone Garden, I do not know, but I do know, and this was given me to know, that he confronted a great evil, a creature of vile darkness from one of the pits of the abyss, and he gave up a portion of his soul to engage it in combat. It's the combat neither one can ever win. Were he to be restored fully, that creature's plan would begin anew.
I see.
So through his sacrifice, he protects everyone.
Hmm.
Has he had
And
moments of doubt?
I didn't quite make you out, Bob. You're still
Oh,
kind of quiet.
sorry, I was trying to use the timber voice,
Right.
but has he had moments of doubt? All protectors must eventually have moments of doubt.
That is something only he could answer. In his current condition, I'm not sure he could.
if it is possible for someone to join him in this fight against this great evil and succeed in doing so, I do not know if you mean to say that they are equal in battle, or if it is impossible for him to win.
From what I know, it is impossible for either to win.
I see.
Should someone make a similar sacrifice to him? And she kind of pauses for a moment, like she's thinking or receiving information. That is not given me to know.
Hmm. Well, that would be very risky, so I shan't try it. I do know that we believe we have found his dog, which he's been looking for, and giving it back to him could only be good.
He will be quite happy to have it returned.
Yes.
This I feel. And do you still have the dog with you?
No, it may
Okay.
have
Oh, that's right.
fled.
That's right. It's in the buried living. But
Well,
as you may
as
have been
far
told, I am Ronnie. This is a place of rest and respite and healing and comfort. It is open to all.
did you know that he, despite what has happened to him, he can open the way for people to leave the Bone Garden?
She nods. Any being strong enough in their faith can beseech the gods to allow them to pass.
Hmm.
As
Timber.
long as, as long as they are still among the living.
If
The
no
dead the
one
dead
stops,
cannot pass the barrier.
if
Tim.
no one stops him, Johan is touching everything in the house.
Okay.
He's trying to find something that might be a waypoint or a exit card, or
Right.
he's like he's like, oh, there's got to be something here that'll let me log out.
Either that or a fast travel.
Yeah,
But
he's like, this isn't my bind point, but maybe I could find
Are you
something to let me
putting out a
log out
bid?
here.
And again, she closes her eyes again and looks like she's thinking. You'll not find what you're looking for here, young man. But there are answers to what you seek.
Are you a dev?
I'm a protector.
Okay, so an AI then. Do you know where the logout is? I can't
She
find the logout portal.
she pauses for a moment. Nowhere in the bone garden. The logout can only be found from within yourself.
the true logout was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. I could relieve you of your burden if that's what you seek. But I don't think at this point it would do you well.
And I just like, yeah, if you can log me out, let's do it.
And she holds her hands out and floats up a little bit so that she's eye level with you.
Anders calling the bluff.
uh,
I step out from between them if I happen to be in between them. I just want to be out of the area.
this will. I'll give you a heads up, Anders. This will probably change how you play your character if you want to go through with this.
Yeah,
She,
that's
she
fine.
she she can remove the delusional hindrance if that's what you want. I want to make sure that as a player you have agency in that decision and know what's coming.
mm,
At least he doesn't die.
Your character arc is similar to that, like of a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
I,
You let
I,
it go
oh,
down.
No,
I'm still. I mean, to be honest, I've been waiting for him to take damage. He hasn't taken damage once.
Right. So
Because
maybe
because
he's
that would because that would completely change his. You know, like right now he's willing to have her just kill him.
right.
Like he's
no.
like,
But that
yeah,
wouldn't
just go
that
ahead and
wouldn't
kill me. Let me log out.
that wouldn't
I was. Oh,
yeah, but
Just
that,
kill me.
I kind of like your I
Kill
kind of
me.
like your story element too, where that some trauma has to happen to him before he gets it.
I was
Um,
halfway thinking that she would open up a portal in which there
no.
would be some like regular amusement park.
Uh-oh, baby. Um,
Uh,
it's up to you, Anders, how you wanna explore this character's arc. This is kind of an easy way out.
yeah, I don't want her to remove the delusional.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
And she stops before she does so, and basically she recognizes your hesitance. That there is, I guess psychologically speaking, there is some reason that you have this, and you're still not done dealing with whatever caused it. So she's going to allow you to not do that.
Like the inverse of Face as a monster.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Like instead of being in reality, thinking that I'm in fantasy, I'm in fantasy thinking
Yeah.
I'm in
Or
reality.
I don't know. I'm not the psychologist, but sometimes working through what causes your trauma
Right,
is better than just
right,
getting
right.
rid of. But not to dwell
I
on
mean,
that.
he's fine. I mean,
I don't
this
want to be
is
an
ongoing.
armchair
This
psychologist
is
or anything.
ongoing.
But
Do his drug.
Luke, on the other hand, Yegan sees this and she's like, she could help his mind. I mean,
Uh,
would you like to get rid of your phobia of gallows?
well, yes, but I think the way Yegan would have perceived that was
Oh, okay.
like she was about to like, you know, relieve him of his mind, or, like
Okay,
something. He was like,
gotcha.
no,
Sure.
no thanks.
Oh, we lost Rick.
No, I'm here. It's just baby's crying, so I'm just
Oh,
staying on mute.
okay.
Ah, cool.
Well, you dropped out of roll 20 is what.
Oh, okay, that is why. Let me check that out.
um,
Well, Ronnie, it is very good to know that anyone of strong enough faith can leave.
at any time.
That
There
is
are lies. There are lies and liars in dissent that will tell you there is no escape. This is not true. There is no escape for the undead. There is no escape for those whose soul exists entirely in their body, such as with me and the leader of the refinery and the leader of the processor.
oh,
Avoid those places. Stay far away from them. They are the reason I am here in dissent. They're the reason I look after its people.
I see. Well, you've all of this information helps us very much. Before I wrap up the conversation, everyone else, did you wish to ask Ronnie anything?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
just while everybody else is doing things, I'm flitting about and being my curious little self,
Hmm.
probably getting myself into some trouble.
That's okay.
When they are done, Ronnie, I would like to give you something.
Of course. I have no need of payment. I offer my services free. Should you find yourself injured and in need of rest,
Oh, wait a minute.
my door is always open.
I don't know his name, but the zookeeper is a very bad man. But the zookeeper is a very bad man. And I don't have the talents or the healing skill to help him, but I think that there's something wrong with my friend.
She looks at it. He is merely asleep. He will awaken soon enough, unless you would wish me to awaken him.
Well, I don't want you to hurt him. I just want him to be
And
in a
she
better.
looks a little injured when you say that. I would never hurt this creature.
Okay.
That's the unicorn rabbit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Do
She
you have a
reaches.
picture of that?
Yeah, it's in the Discord. Yeah, she reaches down and just kind of strokes it on the head and kind of right behind the ear, and it starts to twitch, and the ears flick a little bit, and the little bunny tail flips a little bit, and the nose starts going, and slowly but surely it begins to wake up, and its eyes flutter awake, and
Oh,
it is immediately blink out of the box, and actually it's in her arm, and she's laughing and stroking it. Ah, he was ready to wake up.
I just I I've been around bunnies before, but not magical bunnies.
Hmm. Unfortunately, this poor deer is as trapped here as you.
I would have thought if we could take him outside, we could well do that special trick
Of course,
and through the barrier.
if you're
But
strong enough in your faith, it will work for you.
well, I got faith in him. I'm sure he's a nice boy or girl. I don't know.
I think. She's like, I think, and all of a sudden it just disappears from her arms. He is
Maybe
trying to
it's a
find.
mountain.
It is but an animal. He is trying to find his own way out.
Right?
Oh shoot.
If you
I
find
need
him
to.
again, I hope you're able to convince him to trust you.
Well, I need to carry some food for him. I bet he's hungry.
Possibly. And you say the zookeeper is a bad man. How would? What is the? What is his evil?
He had different magical animals, and he kept them they wouldn't turn on him. I think,
I'll have a word with him.
and I don't know. I mean, the Amirage should talk to you. Should talk to the Amirage uh, himself if he wants to. He seemed to like you. So yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
around.
there's like healing herbs and balms and tinctures and healing potions and a massage bed, all this other stuff. Places where you can rest and sleep. There's a couple of people kind of curled up in one corner on a makeshift bed, taking advantage of her free services.
What kind of pockets?
Well, there are some people who are sleeping in the corner over here in Ronnie's house. Where she, it's a place of healing and rest and respite.
Okay.
Is there
Or an
anything
opium den?
anything else you would like to know?
Everything. Uh, I have many questions
It
for you.
sounds like I missed part of the conversation. Did she tell us how to get out of here?
Yes. If your faith is strong enough,
I
you
mean,
can pass the barrier.
just randomly strong enough.
Faith. So,
Anyone with the faith power can make a skill check to escape. To put it in mechanical terms.
Yeah, I was trying to not.
Oh, it's
Uh,
okay. Sometimes it needs to be, it's okay. So basically, you go up to it. If you make a faith skill check, you can get out.
yeah, Rourke is
And
waiting for everybody else to finish because he has many, many questions. And but the first one would be about the nature of faith and whether faith in the arcane sciences would work, or if it's merely, or if it is restricted to those with religious
it,
connections.
it requires supplication to the gods. So basically, if you have the faith spellcasting power, um, in the original D20 module, you'd have to be a cleric and expend a use of your turn undead ability. But basically,
Ah,
you pray for the gods to let you escape, and if you're alive, you can. But it does in
how
this.
is she taking all the living people out of here?
Many
I don't know.
people are,
That
many
seems
people are here of
risky.
our own volition. They need healing. They need my comfort. And I'm also here to protect those who come here from the leader of the refinery and the leader of the processor. In the refinery, you would find Esbat, the pit fiend. In the processor, gosh, what's his name? Hang on. And yes, she said pit fiend.
Funny, I thought that was something. Oh yeah, because it was a D20 thing.
Oh, just a major demon, basically.
Yeah, I thought that was like one of those uh, specifically named sort of things.
And in the processor is Lord Slan, the abyssal vampire. They rule dissent, and they despise each other. And they would burn this place to the ground and kill every soul within it were it not for me. If all living inhabitants of the descent were to leave, more would come. I must be here to defend them. I am the protector.
Well, Rourke obviously has way more questions that would probably take days upon days, if not a lifetime of uh, academic study.
Actually, I gotta say for Timber having faith and using faith to power to focus his powers. What she said went right over his head. No, because the way he manifests is he remembers about
Yeah, that's
being
fine.
his fairy queen, and so it's like gods. I don't know about that, but like the fairy queen lets me do it, or it's just a innate thing of being what I am.
So, is there some way to get rid of either one of those evil creatures? I mean, is there any way to destroy them within Bone Garden?
Their body and soul are one and the same, much as with me. They are trapped here for eternity. They cannot leave the Bone Garden. They cannot be killed within the Bone Garden.
Were they stuck here by the same sphere that holds the undead in?
Of course. That's the reason all are trapped here.
Someone were to die while they were here, would their soul be trapped here as well?
Yes. The living that die within the Bone Garden rise on the following night as another type of undead. And those who are already dead return to their bodies at dawn and return.
Wait a minute! I was told that when I die, I go to the Great Oak.
That is not true in the Bone Garden.
Ah,
All those who die here are trapped here for eternity. The barrier that was erected by the clerics in ages past see to it that the undead will never leave. That's its blessing and its curse. There is, quite literally, no death in the Bone Garden.
Yet so many still sally forth to what raid and explore these ruins.
Treasure hunters, curiosity seekers, those for whom the outside world has nothing to offer. I'm sure each of you have your own reason for being here.
Well, I have already told you mine.
She nods.
I'm looking for a wizard, but I don't think he would still be living. I don't know.
Perhaps Ronnie has seen him before,
Uh,
Timber?
well,
You might as well ask.
I don't really. I'm not really sure of his name, but he introduced himself as Alistair. He's a very short man.
I know of no one named Alistair. I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't expect it.
Apart from Rourke's soon and upcoming inquiries to the arcane, does anyone else have questions for Ronnie? I'll take that as a no. Ronnie, seeing as you are, as far as I know, a force for good in these lands, I would like to present to you a gift, which might be of further use to you. Uh, Now, you might not want it once I tell you its origin, but I believe that it could be used for further defending, as that is your uh, job, I suppose, for lack of a better word. In any case, and I will take out the great sword that we got from the vampire
Okay.
at the beginning, and I say, this is a great sword uh, that used to belong to a vampire on the surface, who we killed body of his magical effects. It is of great use in battle. Unfortunately, I much prefer fighting with a shield in one of my hands.
I will take this weapon if for no other reason to keep it from the hands of the vampire.
Very good. I hope you will never need to use it, but if you do, please feel free.
We noticed anything about the sword she's carrying? Looks like he's carrying quite a blade.
No, she hadn't mentioned it.
Right.
Carl must have magical sight. Is it like glowing fiercely?
Yes, it is magical.
What about everything else in the place?
She is rather magical herself. Most of the other, except for the potions, the potions of healing and relief and things like that. There's nothing else magical here.
More to study.
Yep.
So, oh shit, I had something.
Is there any way to trap a future of the great evils within the Bone Garden even further so they couldn't affect the rest of the residents of the Bone Garden?
I'm sorry. What was that? You kind of cut in and out.
She told us we couldn't kill the pit fiend or the vampire, and
Right.
they'll just come back the next day. Is there any way we could trap them within the Bone Garden even more so that they couldn't affect the rest of the residents of the Bone Garden?
She's like, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to find a solution to these great evils.
Well, it
Right.
sounds like the barrier must be broken for them to be truly defeated.
But the barrier
Looks
is the
like
thing that holds them here.
Or, sorry, Timber, go ahead.
But it's the barrier that holds them here.
Yes. Um, that's what made me think of an alternative solution, which is kill them and then ask the gods for them to be released from here.
But there are
Would
many undead here too.
well, I
A great
suppose I would just
scourge.
mean the great evils. Ronnie, would such a thing work
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
if they were to be killed and then someone asked the gods to allow them to be released from the Bone Garden? Would that do away with them for good?
She shakes her head. There is no escape for those who do not live.
Hmm. Then breaking the barrier is the only idea I have, but I have no idea how to do it.
well, we do know that Sabano had to sacrifice part of his soul to keep uh which one?
She just said it was a great evil, a creature from the pit of the void, or the pit of the abyss.
That sounds like the pet fiend, but I don't know that Timber would be saying that.
So would right, in that case would that uh creature from the void be related to or possibly be the refinery head?
No,
So,
Espat is a
so Tim, what I'm hearing is
Espat
we
is a
need
different
to go out.
entity.
So
What I'm
there's
hearing is
something.
we need to go out.
Go ahead.
What I'm hearing is we need to go out and find a larger guild to do a guild raid on the entire dungeon. And
Right.
then once we destroyed all of the raid bosses and the big boss, then we could take down the dome. before they respawn.
Might work if there's no more permanent danger within the Bone Garden. Then the gods might be willing to undo the barrier.
However,
Hey,
it
I'm
sounds
game
that
on this. I'm game on this. Can I throw down an occult check to either know about the uh, pit fiend or the other?
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
suspect I know nothing whatsoever because it's outside of my area.
There you go.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
uh, could work as well
Sure. Yeah.
because what it sounds like to Rourke is that the Bone Garden exists solely to trap these two, with Ronnie acting as a barrier from either one of them to getting an upper hand. Yet another power exists that Sabano had to sacrifice part of his soul to keep from getting out into the world, which means this other power has a way out.
Yeah, there was a cosmological thought that Bob has that with the represented by the role I got for Tim, he totally does not get that. So I'm not saying anything.
Right? So, is there a difference between the vampires, the pit fiends, and the old ones, or whatever this creature
Yeah.
from the abyss is?
The pit fiend is, if Savage Worlds had an alignment system, it would be lawful evil.
And the other one
Abyssal,
is
the
chaotic evil.
abyssal vampire is chaotic evil, and Ronnie is actually lawful neutral. She is the balancing factor between the two of them.
I would have
Um,
thought she would have been lawful good,
you
and
she's
now would
acting
be
she's acting
this.
in capacity of good,
Yeah.
but she is basically strict letter of the law kind of thing. If she's forbidden from saying or doing something, she absolutely will not do it, and not question. Um, that's Um,
Actually, uh, it's
so
funny.
what was your occult role about, work? Just to get their
Your
abilities, or
No, the nature of the because there's a difference
oh
between these two and this uh,
yeah, the other great
great
evil.
evil. Yeah,
Yeah, there are creatures from beyond the void, which I guess in this respect would be sort of like Cthulhu type monsters. It may very well. They're not in this adventure, so don't worry about it. You really hate that, don't you? um,
Eh, I
yeah,
was
so
hoping that you were
it
going to
may
take us
bell
with the good
yeah
one.
may well be one of those void deities or void monsters that Sabano is keeping at bay. Um, but it is
which
it is totally those creatures are totally nihilistic. They don't really take a role in the battles between like demons and devils and angels and such and so on.
a creature found its way
Sounds awful.
into the bed bone garden or has been
Hmm.
brought.
Yeah. So basically, what she was saying is summoned creatures. What she's talking about, the soul and the body are the same thing. That would be like a demon or a devil, as opposed to like a person or a humanoid, where you know in the aspect or in the concept of this sort of setting, the body dies, the soul goes on to the afterlife. That can't happen with like a demon or a devil because they are their own. They are one being. Uh, and what she's also saying is that that's true for summoned creatures. If you summon a creature into the bone garden, it's stuck. You summon an elemental, you're going to have a fire elemental pissed off at you because it can't return ever, because its body and soul are the same. If that makes any sense.
Oh,
Yes.
they used a mechanic like that in Eberron.
Mm-hmm.
Like if if you would summon like a imp to you, oh, you got a pissed off imp because it can't go back home. Now, a lot of hell creatures want to stay on a prime,
Right.
but that's another conversation.
Yeah. So in
But actually, that was part of what I was wondering about because, like, if keeping a Baylor trapped here is a good way to piss off a Baylor.
no, it's not a Baylor. It's Pit Fiend.
Uh,
Right, but
Baylor is
never
the
mind.
Baylor is the devil, the chaotic evil, the demon one.
yeah.
All right. So we've
Here,
A
got
lawful evil version of a Baylor.
but there's also another bit from D&D lore, the D&D cosmology.
Yeah. Well,
The real fight isn't between good and evil. The real fight is between demons
there's
and devils.
law and chaos. Okay. So any other questions for Ronnie, or did you want anything else to do, or do you want to go explore something else? Or?
Rourke would ask if you'd be allowed to come back and perhaps help. Uh, he has great interest in not just the history of the Bone Garden, but also he has recently become interested in alchemy and whatnot that she's using to help the living here and also to, hopefully learn magic.
Yes,
So
if you wish to return, I would welcome you.
So how
thank
long
you.
has the Bone Garden been?
At least 100 years.
Hundreds, right?
Hmm. I think I said it was
And
200 years ago is when the clerics all got together and made the barrier.
But I bet the Bone Garden precedes the barrier in some ways.
Yeah, yeah. It was a cemetery that became so that became so cursed that the dead, you bury somebody there, they'd come back. Uh, and they couldn't break that curse, so they just kind of erected this barrier to keep the undead in. But it worked too well
So
in
it
that
became a
it
scapegoat.
doesn't let anyone escape. But there is that loophole with the faith. So
So it became Escape from New York,
yeah,
Fantasy Edition.
in reverse. Wait, no.
No, once you go in, you don't come
Yeah,
out.
okay, gotcha.
You have to go through
Yeah,
a minefield.
right. Can we surf,
you gotta
the
you gotta face
Please
The
don't
Duke
talk
of New
about
elevator?
York. You gotta
don't
face the Duke of New York, a number one.
we don't talk about LA.
Oh, LA. Of course we talk about LA.
No, we don't.
Well,
Surfing.
anyway,
Sorry.
so what next?
There's going to be a theory to this. Something we have to kill first.
Uh,
Anybody
we're
have a wiki on this?
we're losing you again, Anders. I'm sorry.
Does anybody have access to the wiki on the Bone Garden? What order? What order do we have to kill these guys in?
I do not believe there is a
What is a
strat guide.
wiki? Wait a minute. You people need to explain this to me. What is a wiki? Is that like a hut?
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not really into the whole role playing, so I'll let somebody else explain that to you.
Rourke does a quiet, secret, and then points at the candle,
I look at the candle.
and he just gives a knowing nod and goes back to asking questions about the history of the.
I want to go outside. Look for my buddy.
Go into light. Uh,
what does the end game look like here for a protector? Like, how does one solve for the Bone Garden? Is it just a eternal prison and uh,
It is for
refuge for
it.
those that seek to escape the world, or
It
is there
is.
a way to solve for?
I am not aware of the resolution.
Wait,
I am here because I was sent because of the two great evils that reside here in Descent. It is my
Okay,
task.
so we used to
It is my task to be here.
we used to escape from New York analogy. We need to get the atomic football uh, from the president out of here. So no, but seriously, so we need to find the things the party members want to find, and then just leave. We're not going to fix this.
hey, wait a minute. May, what sort of magic uh, makes the undead like that? I mean, just somebody dies here and becomes a zombie.
That is true.
I don't
I
have a
mean,
Now,
quest about love
that,
to come here, but I'm assuming each of you do have quests that you're trying to complete. So, what do we need to do to complete your individual quests so you can level up?
primary is the seed.
All right, so let's find this seed thing.
Since I've been sent here to get the seed, I have, and this is basically a holy mission. I believe we would have a great success in being able to get out of here to take it back once we have it.
All right.
am I the only one here that has a great hatred of the undead?
Yes. Or
Okay.
no.
Wait a minute, what? Why am I traveling around with you people?
I mean, they're not my most favorite mob, for sure. Uh, so, do we get a lead on where the seed might be? Because that's what we need to do.
Uh, re- hmm.
So how
I would
area?
say just, oh, I'll tell you everything I know about the seed and like who got it and stuff, but you might need a recap. Let me know if you do.
Have we gotten any clues as to where to find it in the Bone Garden?
No.
This was the last
Well,
clue of where.
the last thing we know about it is that the man who stole it tunneled down from those graves, the same place we got to uh, this city, the same way we got to this city. He made that tunnel and dug down here, and must have either passed through here or is still here somewhere.
Ooh, that
So if
does
we
bring
can
up a
find
good point.
him, that's our best bet in finding the seed.
And do we know who he is?
Could you
Anton Valder.
repeat, Erica?
Yeah, his name is Anton Valder.
Thank you.
Ooh, that does bring up a good question. What happens to all the spell books and magical items that come into the Bone Garden from all those who are adventurers and whatnot? Does everything pretty much end up in the paws of this pit fiend or vampire, or are there other forces at play? Is there distribution, or even just
Mr.
pick it up where they
Mayor,
fall?
The location and
what
disposition of the last seed of the great silver tree is unknown to me. This is not given me to
But do you
know.
know where? But do you know
Right,
where
but
Anton Balder is?
I do not.
Is there any way that we could go to that would know where he is?
El Medina may be able to help you.
All right, Hawkeye needs a new pair of shoes. Let's go.
She just kind of gives you she just kind of gives you a confusing look.
Thank you for all of your help, Ronnie.
what was
If
the
there's
name?
Wait,
anything you need our help with, please let us know.
I
We would
will.
like to
Thank you.
help you.
hey, where do we find El Medina?
She's the fortune teller, floating fortunes in the marketplace.
Oh, okay, okay. Funky Cole Medina.
Right.
Bow.
I was just trying to remember that. Yeah, okay, gotcha. But what Rourke was asking about was like what happens to all the stuff that people bring in. whether
Didn't you just
there's a
find
market
one?
for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Midnight Peddler, there's the marketplace down here, there's the drow that you can wheel and deal with down below. There is an economy here made of those certain things.
Have we been to the market down here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
walked
the
around it
first
a little
place
bit.
I looked for the seed.
Yeah, that's
I
where
thought.
you that's where you gave toenails to the guy who sold you some eyeballs, I think.
All right, right, right. And we've been to the kennel too, right?
We have not been to the kennel yet.
Where'd we get the bunny?
From the zookeeper here
From
in the marketplace.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah. Speaking of, while we're walking around, I'm keeping more attention around for my little friend than I
Here,
am
bunny.
really paying attention to my group.
Oh, so now Timber is even more distracted. Gotcha.
Wait a
Good,
minute.
good to know.
Where did you get the idea that Timber's distracted?
I met
He's
him
he's
at a bar.
curious. He's curious. He's not distracted. He's curious and impulsive. Not which is really kind of weird when you
Right.
pair that with Major Val.
Okay, what are Katla and Rick doing? Or I can't remember what your character's name was. Malekith?
Right, that's right. Malkin.
You have any
Um,
input? Anything you want to ask or say? Or just trying to help get you involved a little bit.
um, no, no, I appreciate it. Kind of want to go back and kick it with that Ronnie chick.
Well, you're still there.
All right, yeah. Just maybe have some drinks.
Okay, yeah. She offers you some nice fresh water.
We'll be, yeah. I don't know. My guy would probably want to stay like in a centralized location like this until further development.
Okay. Well, you have rooms at the inn here at the Buried Living.
Okay. I
Um,
guess I would.
Are you gonna Batman up on one of the rooftops or something?
Well,
Like
probably
Overwatch?
sure I wouldn't be alone in this ghost city. Like if
That
looking around, there's all kinds of monsters up there probably.
If
that
you
does.
want to take Timber with you,
There you go.
We've
That
been
does
never alerted.
that does bring you up a good point. What's the deal with the gallows?
Yeah.
We could ask, or maybe do some recon.
Gallows
Gallows is an
numbers.
excellent question as well.
It's a place of punishment and execution.
Armed by whom?
All blase about it.
So you mean a place where you send people when they've been bad in hell?
Those who break the rules of Esbat or Lord Slan are taken here.
Despot.
Um, there are stocks for minor offenses and executions, and you're made into one of the many servant zombies that you've seen wandering here.
I guess it would be against the rules if I went into a major flock of the servant zombies and destroyed them.
That sounds bad.
Right, the
No,
lawful
that's
evil pit
good.
fiend.
No, that's good.
Right. I need to pick up invisibility. Do you have any books on spells?
No, I'm afraid not.
That's not I'd ask.
Yeah, spells on tape.
Yeah.
Right? For while we're walking around, just pop them in an MP3 player.
Right. For the adventure on the go. A lot of time to read.
Got the 8 track.
The whole backpack probably.
Right.
So that's that takes podcasting to a different place.
Especially when there's
That's
pod people.
Okay, what next?
Rourke will, you know, thank Ronnie for her time, and explain that he'll likely be back later in the evening when they get ready to bed down at the buried living, and asks if there's anything we should, if she has any suggestions as to where to go to seek the seed.
And she sadly shakes her head. I wish I could answer the question. I cannot. I mean, she did direct you to El Medina, that she might be able to know. She's a fortune teller. She may be able to see things that even I cannot.
Wait, oh shit! Wait a sec. The deep dwarf is a pit fiend.
No, the leader of the refinery, the master of the refinery, is the pit fiend. Gupyuk just works for him.
Oh, yeah. Rourke makes a post-it note and asks to stop by
And
to slap it on the door for Hoffman to read.
yeah.
Yes, I'm all for that.
Okay, we'll let Dustin react to that when he's able to game with us again in what is it, 2 weeks? Are we okay for 2 weeks, or
yeah.
we'll figure out planning off camera.
There you go.
All right, so we're making our way to the El Medina.
Okay, Funky El Medina,
Right.
and as you come closer to the processor, it is a large building. The roof, even though the picture I've had to choose for it doesn't show that, the roof is actually flat, kind of like a castle. And there are people up there with crossbows, and you also see some ballistas mounted on these corners and stuff like that. It seems to be well armed. There is a flight of stairs going up to where the roof is, and you hear the sound of machinery, ka-chung, 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 you know, um, and smoke is billowing out of the chimney. So it seems like a factory in full operation.
I'm presuming this is more scary to me than the blacksmith.
Probably. There's
And
like,
this is the processor.
yep. Alrighty, you go to Floating Fortunes. This is a large tent sewn of multicolored hides, fabrics, furs, and the skins of certain creatures that have wandered up from the realms down below. Outside the tent is a battered wooden sign reading El Medina's Enigmas. A sickly green light uh, creeps out from underneath the tent flap.
Well, I'll go first.
Okay. The strange light fills the tent's interior. A huge liquid filled tank stands in the center of the tent, a vast tub perhaps 20 feet in diameter. The green light emanates from the water within the tank. Floating in that water, completely submerged, is a shocking sight. A human woman of tremendous girth, the flesh of her arms waving gently in the water, her dull brown hair like seaweed around the head. The woman's wrists are so layered in skin that her hands have all been swallowed. Her legs are round white columns, crisscrossed with the webbing of blue veins. Her colorless face is a mass of cheeks and chins, yet that within those folds her eyes are open and appear alive and intelligent. If not for the fluid supporting her, the woman likely wouldn't be able to move. Uh, the water not only supports her, but also apparently sustains her, as she doesn't seem to be drowning or in distress. As a matter of fact, she's looking right at you.
Hello, are you open?
Is your name Mammy?
You hear a voice in your head. I am.
Good. What do you charge, a flat rate or a variable rate?
There you go. That is El Medina.
Okay. Not what I was expecting, but you know.
Those
Oh,
of us,
one word, El Medina.
those of us who played on Saturday might
That's
have
her name.
flashbacks.
I was hoping to learn about a relic sacred to my faith and where it might be located. Is that something you could scry for me?
Very little is closed to my eyes. You hear the voice in her head, in your head.
Well, that's great to hear. Um, what would you charge for such a thing?
She closes her eyes for a moment. What is the value to you?
Well, let's see. The whole reason why I'm here, so I suppose quite a lot. Um, are you interested in material possessions or something else?
100 gold pieces for my vision.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid I only have 50 on me. Can someone help me out?
What about this? Rourke holds up a tiara with rubies.
She nods.
With this, perhaps, uh, oh man, brain fart. Would this perhaps secure your services in assisting our friend here?
She makes a gesture with her hand, and a chest nearby, the lid pops open.
Is it empty?
Hmm.
Right. Look, Rourke will look to the others first. Yeah or nay?
Sure.
Can I do a insight check, a detect bullshit, a
Sure, go ahead.
sense?
Yeah, go ahead.
I will betting one time, just in case. There we go. Same difference.
Okay. Yeah, she seems, it's possible that she is a diviner of some sort, or perhaps a psychic, that she can see things beyond the normal realm.
Right. Rourke is asking if this is going to be enough for more than one question type thing,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and like put her on retainer.
Do you have where you found that? Let me, so I can find the value of it.
That's Baldur's. He
Okay.
was taking out one of Baldur's tombs.
Gotcha. Okay. Tiara composed of rubies and rhinestones. Oh, yeah. She's like, I will answer your questions. Many of them. It's worth a lot of money, in other words.
All right. Then, if I may, everyone, be the first to ask.
Her eyes focus on you again. And of course, everyone's hearing her voice in their head in their native language. Telepathic communication, obviously.
Cool.
Neat.
Then, where can I find? And I will do my best to
Hmm?
make a mental image of this silver seed.
Okay. She closes her eyes and makes a gesture with her hand, and an illusion of the seed appears kind of floating in the air in front of you. This,
Yes, that seems to be right.
I know the answer, but you may not like it.
Well, as long as you speak true, I'll just have to live with it.
Oh, and just as a note, in case I need to do something for later,
Hmm.
I'm gonna memorize the picture she made in the illusion. It's
Okay.
probably not gonna be as good
Right.
as what Luke has, but it should hit me in the ballpark for like a locate.
That item has passed out of descent. And she opens her eyes and just kind of gives you a kind of a cold stare. It is now in the possession of the Blood Governor.
Blood Governor. Is that a name we've heard before?
It sounds familiar.
I know there was a like some kind of crudely drawn map of the above ground bone garden,
Hmm.
but
Yep. The scarecrow
Isn't
said this.
the
The scarecrow said something about it as well.
yeah, in the blood governor wasn't it there was the Balder thing, right?
Hmm.
Damn it.
What were you going to say, Rick?
I don't think I said anything.
Oh, I thought I heard you. I'll give you guys a common knowledge check.
Leave the blood governor be. His
There
tomb
you.
is no place for mortals.
Yeah, that's what the scarecrow said. Yeah, well, the common knowledge check was to remember, but that's what the scarecrow said. Leave the blood governor be. His tomb is no place for mortals. And there is a spot on the map that you saw above ground that has the blood governor's mausoleum marked.
okay. Thank you, El Medina, for telling us this.
There is grave danger there.
I'm sure there is, but it will not deter me.
So the idea is somebody bought the sapling down here and then sold it to an agent of the blood governor and took it back up.
Either sold it or
It was
was
taken.
forced to give it over.
Yeah. Actually, it makes me wonder. There are a lot of passages off, and somebody said that they were all like mine shafts, but maybe there's more connected, like the way that the drow thingy is underneath of us.
Well, we were told that the drought could be accessed deeper below,
Yeah, but
but
maybe
she did just say outside the bone garden, right? To the blood governor.
No, outside of descent. It's passed out of descent.
Oh,
so. Maybe there. Well, there might be a tunnel or something that links up the blood governor's mausoleum, crypt to this area here. Hmm. Not like I know anything, just making a guess. I'm always in favor of exploring.
What can you tell us? Uh, Perhaps, Egan, we should ask about the blood governor himself.
All right. Is that a question we should ask the fortune teller and use up our allotted questions, or is that something we could ask like Ronnie?
Like, is there anything else anybody's looking for?
Anybody have a quest line they're following?
I know that our artificer was looking for something. What was it again?
He was looking for
Maker.
information about how to repair that
The
tombstone.
well, the book. He's looking for a book that contains the knowledge on how to create life with clockworks.
Uh, well, I suppose he would appreciate it if we asked that on his behalf, wouldn't he?
But do any
Especially
of our
considering he's.
characters know in depth what
But
he's
yeah, do you
looking for?
know? Yeah, do you know the title of the book or anything like that?
How about if we leave one question for Hoffman?
Right. Yeah, we can let Dustin role play that next week. So that question is asked and possibly answered. We'll find out next time because I don't want to uncap his secret without him here. So
True.
Right.
Yeah, that would be kind of rude.
I have two questions. Is the blood governor a vampire? Um,
he is not.
and he's not.
Yeah, if you
That was
think
a
if you think that question, she answered
hmm.
it.
Well,
Oh, damn it! That's
that's
almost.
why that's why Rourke is specifically asking Egan first and putting all through
Yeah. And what is your second
Egan.
question?
Um, I'm looking for a heart made of glass that grants wishes. And I'm wondering if it's here.
There is no such thing in the bone garden. There are, however, the pieces of her heart, a broken gemstone that, when reassembled, would grant wishes.
Oh, where are the pieces? And how did it break? He's not gonna tell me that.
And how do you spell gemstone? And wait.
Is this my beautiful heart?
Right. Just how many questions do we get for the tiara?
I think we're burning through them.
That's why I'm asking.
So, how many of you asked so far?
Two.
Three.
Well,
No, because Katya asked about her
Is the bone garden a
ancestors,
vampire?
and
Is
then
the blood governor a
so three.
vampire?
Yeah, three.
no four because she
Yeah.
asked two questions.
How did it
One
break?
about the vampire, one about the pieces of the heart.
Well, it hasn't been answered yet, so
You're gonna interrupt her
This
real
is
quick. Don't answer that yet.
yeah.
I mean, this is almost like as bush league as going up to a wishmaster and saying, "Man, I wish I could have
Well,
a secret
remember,
wish."
Katya is like a child. She's a little
Yes,
impetuous.
that's
It's
why. Yeah, it's. I'm detecting a pattern here.
she's
That's
probably
why.
she probably has a million questions. Do you have a million gold pieces?
Right. That's why Rourke is trying to step in before she asks if you
Right,
know
right.
they're
Gotcha.
in our court and has anything to eat. You know.
So why are humans so stupid?
Oh,
I think that's more of a philosophical question than a fortune teller question.
Yeah, rude.
Okay, you're right. Timber probably would have put it more like, "Why are big people so dumb?"
do you like lemons? What's your favorite color? No.
What is
Yeah.
the
But
unnamed
Rourke is
species of a swallow?
right. Rourke is trying to interrupt before any of these get any further into what.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Can I? Rourke throws something.
No, I'm not taking those as questions. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It's all good. Let
No,
me
but
look some things up.
no, you know that Timber would get all philosophical.
I know that these characters would do that. That's why Rourke is stepping in before they get answered. And, oh, by the way, I do have a scroll of speak language. It's nice.
Okay.
I think you bought that last session.
I bought that first session.
Oh,
Character
oh,
creation.
oh. What is your What is your name?
Uh,
Oh, I'm sorry. I had somebody bent me over towards Monty Python, and I had to.
all right. Where
Right,
is
right.
my map of the
Uh,
bone garden?
can
Okay,
Rourke
hang on.
throw something shiny in front of Timber?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh. He's gonna fold up some tinfoil, make it look like a bunny. Hey, is
Gee,
that your friend?
I guess this would qualify as like a spirit check.
Four. Okay. So what was the latest question I need to answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got completely sidetracked
Right.
on
Right.
how to burn questions.
So I know she
Oh, by
asked.
the way,
I think you asked
The
where the pieces of her heart were. Where the pieces were.
yeah.
Well, we
oh,
cannot count that one. We,
Oh, you start to
Well, that
answer
one
it, and
actually.
you start to ask that. Maybe work puts his hand over your mouth or something.
yeah.
Well, no, that actually sounds, something
You
you
would want.
know,
Okay.
but you know, what's her favorite color and favorite
Right.
pie
No,
and
I won't take.
food?
I won't do those.
Gotcha. But Rourke was also asking or wondering, or yeah, did she mention how many questions we get in the first place?
Nope.
Gotcha.
you could use a question to get that.
Yeah.
Hey, can you answer a question for me?
Yes. What's your question?
Yeah, that one. No, no, it's like, can you ask a question of me? Can you answer one of my questions? Yes.
Yeah. How much damage would it do to beat a fairy with a tiara?
You've already given up that tiara.
All right. So are you
I
allowing
still
are
have
you
a
are you
bottle.
letting Katja ask where the pieces of her heart are?
Yes.
Okay. And she says one resides in the depths of the plague bog. Four are in the Varga or ossuary.
Hey, somebody writing this down.
Literally in
Write it down.
Rourke's journal.
Yep. One is within the dissolution, and one is in the possession of Esbat.
Thank you.
Spot,
Yep.
not S spot.
S
Okay.
Esbat, ESBAT, the pit fiend. Oh,
Bot.
over in
Okay.
the refinery. The 7 pieces of her heart, when assembled, will reform the ruby and grant you your wish.
Thank you. Thanks, lady.
You're welcome, child. You have 2 more questions because she sensed that someone was asking. How many questions do we have?
Yeah. Was that a question? Wait. No.
and
Okay,
and
everybody.
and Dustin's question has technically already been answered, but we'll, like I said, we'll catch that up in 2 weeks.
All right. So we Rourke holds a hand up to everybody else. It says we haven't asked about Blood Governor.
Only that you know that he's not a vampire.
Which, hey, I would have been tricked by that. Blood governor or vampire.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Hey, just throwing this out there to my
Now this would
companion.
be a good place if anyone has the big mouth hindrance and needs a Benny.
Hey, I've already
It's
been trying to.
already been played.
I've already been trying to engage in that. I got
Yeah.
I got distracted and threatened and confused.
Oh yeah. Rourke saw that one coming and tried to jump on that from the get.
I mean, not only do I have big mouth, I have him, curious,
what about what
impulsive.
about Johan? Did Johan have a question for her?
Oh,
No. Okay.
no.
Wait,
Right.
I mean,
John's one of those players that saves that one resource that you pick up at level 1,
he
and
was
you just know you're gonna need it and never use it.
Yeah.
he's been asking everyone where the exit point is, but yet we go to somebody who might be able to answer it, and he doesn't ask.
Well, it's the obviously you don't ask Baron Harkonnen.
All right. So you still have 2 questions.
We saved them for later,
That's
We
true.
could
You
ask.
could bank them and come back. You paid for them.
We could
right?
ask about the guy we thought the blood prince. Ask
We
what
could
he did.
also what
Like he might be
e-
something else that's dead. He's in a
right.
mausoleum.
Yeah, but Egan also brought up the good point that we could ask Ronnie. So what we need is information that Ronnie can't answer, but El Medina can, right? So at this point, what our best bet is save those last 2 questions.
Well, we could ask eternal questions like who would win a fight between.
Why do you park in a driveway and drive in a parkway? Yeah.
No,
We can do that over drinks.
wait, I have to be over a drink to do that?
Yes. That's how that works. Did you not know?
I thought you were scouting Malekith.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I think
Rick?
Malekith was calling for you.
Yeah.
So don't need your help
Funny, I didn't
on
hear that.
Overwatch.
Right.
Funny, I didn't
Ossuary.
hear
I
that.
heard estuary.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then
Especially
you
I'm
said
trying to
we're
go
in
to
a.
sleep and
Very
he's like
good.
under my pillow or something.
All right, so we got some leads just now, right? So can we just
Hmm.
follow down one of those leads?
Sure.
right, where do you guys want to go first?
Well, I know what my answer is.
Okay.
Yeah, to get the seed.
All right, well, let's go
Right.
do that.
So perhaps we should return to Ronnie, ask about the blood governor. We can bank these last two questions. Uh, is there any such thing as a free question?
How are you
No,
doing?
you have one question. No,
Oh, mother of a
no,
bitch.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
No, I wasn't. I really wasn't trying to sink it on that.
uh,
All right. Yeah, I should have said out of character first.
yeah,
But
that's fine.
yeah, no, like okay. Are there attendants?
I don't know what you mean
M-
by that.
m- more than just uh El Medina?
Are there servants in the other NPCs?
Yes, servants
Of the blood governor?
of
No,
El
for
Medina.
Medina.
No, it's just her. You don't see anyone else in the area.
That probably means she has some way of defending herself.
Hey, Erica,
Well, that's
does she appear to be alive?
Hmm.
I mean she's have you seen her bigger? She doesn't look like undead. So that's why I was asking if there are attendants because she doesn't look like she goes out shopping on her own.
Like who's feeding her?
Exactly.
Hey,
Like who's
Ruth.
bringing her the bucket of chicken once a day?
Right?
Ruth, there are types of undead called like brain in a jar.
She's she does appear to be alive. Because every
She
now and then,
doesn't appear to be alive.
no, she does appear to be alive. You know, but she is wearing a necklace, so
Detect magic.
it is magical.
Anything I could determine about the magical.
Do you have detect arcana?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, go ahead and give me a roll on that.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, she is wearing a necklace of sustenance, so she doesn't need
Is
to
it
eat.
overturned?
I
Do
guess
Is it like oversized, like a giant ruby or something?
oh, but
I guess that answers
she doesn't need to eat.
I guess
Well,
that
the thing
answers
is
one of
that
the
a
questions I had.
sustenance doesn't usually give you like over, right? Oh, I guess if you're just floating in a tank.
Hmm.
If she was already
Yeah.
when she tested it, she would maintain her seat.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes
Also,
sense.
she's in a vat,
Hmm.
so she probably doesn't do very much.
Right.
That's actually my favorite magic item.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she,
I don't know. I
I'll go on. I'll
actually
go ahead and give you this too, just out of curiosity. She also wears a ring of protection from elements water, so she doesn't have to breathe. So she just kind of floats around in her tank and explores the cosmos with her psychic powers.
Pretty dope.
But I
One could
guess
say that she has a more fulfilling life than most people.
right? Sit in your
I don't know. She's
bathtub, in your
basically
hot
just
tub,
sitting there surfing the net.
and
Yeah,
Right?
kind
frying balls. Yeah, she's in fucking wiki hole and shit.
of. She's going on a wiki walk.
Like, yeah, interest in, you know, one pen after the next.
So what now? You want to try to find your way back to the surface and locate the blood governor? Because his tomb was marked on your map.
I think we wanted to get
But
to Ronnie.
yeah,
Right. Let me pop you back to the map real quick so you can see what's going on. There you go. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't know where the the blood governor is yet. My bad.
All right.
I'm
It was.
guessing this is the plague bog.
It looks pretty plaguey.
At least boggy.
Definitely boggy.
I almost expect to go there and lose a horse.
Anyway, you wanted to go back to Ronnie to ask about the Blood Governor.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Easily enough done. And of course, as you're walking back and around through through the town of Descent, every now and then you're accosted by beggars, maybe even like street thieves. But you guys are so much of a threat to them that you're able to chase them off and not, uh, not even worth a quick combat. You flash some of your weapons and they just go running. All right, Ronnie welcomes you back.
What's my brain?
Hmm?
Hello. Yes, we have learned a bunch of things about where the things we seek are.
El
And
Medina could help you. That makes me
what's that?
happy. It makes me glad to know that El Medina could help you.
Thanks. We were hoping to know or ask what you might know about the Blood Governor.
I know of the Blood Governor. He has the power to be reckoned with on the surface of the Bonegarden. What would you wish to know of him?
His nature, his weaknesses, and his location to begin with, please.
Blood Governor is a lich, the likes of whose power I have not seen before I came to this place. Unlike
And
most liches, he is indestructible. He needs no phylactery. The Bonegarden reanimates him as it does all undead. In that way, it could be said that the Bonegarden itself is his phylactery.
So that
He
leads
is.
me to what I wanted to ask before, which is, oh, maybe this is a use for talking to the fortune teller. But what is it that do you know what causes the undead to rise here?
A curse, far more powerful than any other curse that's been laid. The ground here cannot hold the dead. This is why the clerics banded together all those centuries ago to erect the force field to hold them in. It was the only solution.
Do you know of any way that's supposed to lift a curse?
I do not. This has not been given me to know.
Oh, okay.
Ancient curse.
Because
Powerful lich.
I've heard of
Pit fiend.
certain places that are like holy ground where the dead cannot enter, and it sounds like kind of the opposite of that.
On a grand scale, she adds.
And I thought, well, maybe some kind of item or really powerful item
That the
might
Blood
be able to
Governor,
get.
on the surface at least, rules the Bonegarden. He will not be easily treated with. I'm sorry, she says, looking at Egan, that your quest has taken you to him.
Egan doesn't respond.
Okay.
He appears to be lost in thought.
Okay.
Where do we find him?
He's in. Uh, he spends most of the time in his mausoleum. Um, and she describes it uh, as on the surface, it is just to the northeast of the mass graves. And I put you on the map, didn't I? Nope, I didn't. Okay. Back to the map. And what she's describing is that text goes to map layer. There is the blood governor. I guess you can all see that, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That is the blood governor's mausoleum.
This might just be me being foolish, but I think he needs to be ejected from the Bone Garden.
That is not possible. But a valiant thought, nonetheless, she says with a smile.
Well, because that's the only way to put him down. He's
I've
an
come
undead
to a
scourge and
conclusion.
needs to be destroyed.
I've come to a conclusion. We will retrieve this seed last, if that's okay with everyone. I know we
I
are.
would I would caution, however, the nature of all the death magic and how it may corrupt the seed being in the garden for so long. If this is, as Miss Ronnie says, the last seed for your people, then would time not be of an essence?
I think that makes sense because the seed is a great good, and no good can be had from having it in the possession of such a evil.
In my mind, such an artifact is uncorruptible. I
Have you ever seen an old
believe I have a reinterpretation now of my quest,
Have
but
you not
I
seen
would
a great
rather not talk about it right now.
Understood. If you are comfortable with it, I am
Yes.
willing.
Know that I will not seek my death before I can lay my hands on it. Which is to say, if we're going after, say, a piece of the ruby heart, and it seems like we're going to die, I would rather retreat than keep going after it.
one of those is held by one of the great bad guys?
Yes.
The pit fiend.
I wonder if a wish would be enough to either put down the governor or recover the seed. But I'm sorry, I'm
That's a
being
good point.
rude. I'm being rude. Uh, Katya, uh, this thing that you wanted ends up giving you a wish. Was there something in particular you were wishing for, or was it just for the jewel itself?
Oh,
Yeah, Pinocchio, what's your wish?
I think it grants 3 wishes. Um, I'm actually supposed to be getting it for my thieves guild, but I have my own questions.
Pardon?
Huh?
Thieves Guild? Hey, what is what is a
I think I've heard
thieves
of that
guild?
guild. They're pretty big on the server,
Yeah, they
I
like steal stuff or whatever.
I just look
but only from
like
NPCs.
Have you seen me?
yes.
I, Katya, does your guild treat you well?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What they need
Okay.
it for? Are they just gonna sell it?
No, it's great.
I
They basically raised me, so
okay.
they're good people.
Oh, that explains it. The
Okay.
Out of
thieves
character, how old is Katya?
Like 12.
Here's
What,
some 12.
12-year-old girl.
Hey, wait a minute. No, Katya, if you join me instead, what's the word I'm looking for? Not half dead.
I was going to
Well,
say something about being careful who you choose to make your friends because, especially in Thieves Guild, people are usually looking out for number one and will do anything in
well,
their power to screw you over to get ahead. But, well, it would be kind of lost since we're in an adventuring party.
Well, I didn't say I was going to give it to them.
uh,
Seems more
Logical.
theoretical and flat.
I don't understand.
It's
I'm
like
saying that
kind of how
an
thieves work.
adventuring party is no different.
Yeah, yeah, I could
Again,
see that.
I want to go to the fortune teller and ask her why big people are so dumb.
I mean, they're my friends and I love them, of course, but I have my own questions.
Right?
That
I'm sure
lady's
they'll understand.
that lady's expensive.
Of course.
Well, Katla, if you ever change your mind
Absolutely.
about who you wish to associate with, know that you will always be welcome in any uh, place I belong to.
Hey,
Oh, thank you.
so I'm curious. Before coming to the Bone Garden, have any of you ever been summoned into a summoning circle?
No.
Can't say that I have.
So just me?
As far as I know, Timber, there isn't a spell called Summon Humanoid.
That's a pretty personal question.
Well, I'm a humanoid. Look, I have two arms, two legs. I'm not an animal like my animals.
Okay, well, I guess I meant like as opposed to Fey,
Prime
if
material
that's the right
plane.
term.
Summon Prime NPC.
Call wild card.
In out of
Right.
in out of game,
Summon ally. Here we go.
Yeah.
out of game, I figured
Ooh. Can I
it,
do a summon ally that summons?
watch out. You'll get somebody like me. They're a wild card, and it just pisses you off.
Okay, so what next? To get back on track.
So we have uh, the Blood Governor, who is a lich, who is can't be killed within the Bone Garden.
I'm get
He is in hold a hold
Of the seed that Egan's looking for. Yep.
the seed,
Hmm.
and
There's
then
got to
the
be a way to
pit
solve the lich.
fiend.
Yep. The
Not
pit.
within. Well, the nature of the Bone Garden itself acts as a phylactery for the lich, right?
Right.
And then so does the nature of the with the nature of the pit fiend, who is also trapped here, who
Right.
is in possession of the last fragment
One of
of
the
the
fragments of the
heart
pieces
of
of her heart.
ice.
Yep. Yep.
So what? Our choice is to which one we want to die against first. Um, if there's
I
no
think there
killing, we can't kill the vampire, we can't kill the pit fiend, and we can't kill the lich.
there might be a way
Well,
to
you
incapacitaate.
can defeat them, but they'll just
We
come
can
back the next
defeat
night.
them,
Yeah, but they'll be back.
There, there might be a
right?
way to entrap or otherwise deal with the lich. The lich doesn't seem as impossible. Not being able to kill something doesn't mean you can't do anything against it.
Yet
Well,
the lich is in charge of the entire surface compared to the pit fiend and the vampire stuck underground
And
in the
as
same
far as I
town.
know, it's much harder to
And
meaningfully entrap a wizard of great power than just a warrior, right?
oh, I
so,
agree. But the
all
other
right,
two seem like eternal forces.
all three of them are because of the nature of the bone garden. However, if we were able to defeat the pit fiend after collecting all other pieces of the heart. There's three. We think there might be more than one wish, or we hope.
Katya, just how
Hmm.
big is this gem all told supposed to be? Like, is it
Um,
another thing that's bigger
It
than I
it
am?
it is a ruby about the size of a human heart.
Crap, it is bigger. It's about as big as me.
Yep,
Crap, I really need to pick up these
and is
rubies.
now is now broken into 7 pieces.
I would like to suggest that we go for the first piece of her heart in the plague bog.
Plague bug, that sounds nice and happy.
Oh,
Yes.
What? Well, can we ask Ronnie what the nature of the plague bog, the ossuary, and the dissolution are?
Isn't
Sure.
an ossuary a tomb?
Yep. An ossuary is a place where bones are stored. Like, you've heard of the Paris catacombs? That's basically
hmm.
a giant ossuary. It's just stacks and stacks of loose bones.
Cool.
Um,
Couldn't be anything wrong with that here.
and the Varga ossuary,
This?
uh, well, an ossuary is a building.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Um, she actually has a map. She'll bring it out for you just to help fill in the map background, just to help fill in the background a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet.
She says the Varga ossuary is, let me get it on the right layer. There.
Hmm.
It is an ossuary belonging to the Varga family. Um, it was in use for centuries before the Bonegarden barrier was erected.
Hmm.
Okay. And she says, of course, the plague bog is here, and you were asking the nature of the plague bog. Uh, like Andre's favorite place in the Boneguard. The plague bog.
what's
All right.
not to like?
Throughout the Bone Garden's varied topography, this area is the cemetery's lowest point. The land here forms a depression, a basin that has the misfortune of serving as the final resting place for the cemetery's accumulated liquid runoff. As fluids always move downhill at the behest of gravity, everything eventually pools here. All the blood, the feces, the bodily juices, all the effluvium of death and decay, stagnated in a slime pit of pollution. The locals refer to this fetid wetland as the plague bog. The plague bog
Oh, that's
is a disgusting, swampy region 50 feet in diameter. Of course, it's not to scale on the map that I'm showing you. I just made it really
Right.
big so it'd be visible to you. The stench that rolls off the bog is eye-watering in intensity. Dead trees stand in the bog, their wood pockmarked by years of exposure to toxins. The plants that rise up from the mire are black and twisted and poisonous. The fluid itself contains bacteria of types never catalogued by sages. It is completely motionless, stirred not even by the ripple of mosquito wings, as any insect that alights here is instantly snuffed out by the powerful vapors constantly created in this vile cauldron of disease.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Lovely place for a
Oh
visit,
wow.
isn't it?
The plague is
uh,
I've been in public bathrooms like that before, so it can't be that bad though.
yeah,
ew.
yeah. We use the
Hey,
we use the porta potties at the haunted house there in in Shawsville. We know how
Yeah.
awful it can be. It felt
hey,
like it was going to tip forward and close you up with the door. uh,
first seasons of working for the forest rangers and shit is cleaning out the freaking porta potties and or not the porta potties but the chemical
Lovely.
toilets, which are California just a heat trap over a chemical toilet.
Ugh,
So
imagine
Ew.
so.
Ugh.
And she points out the dissolution is here. I cannot explain to you what the dissolution is. The nature of it is beyond my ken. However, it is a place of eternal darkness and death. This is the home of all the vampires of the Bone Garden.
Didn't I
we
explore some of
passed
that a
that.
little bit?
No,
Yeah,
Oh
that's
we
yeah.
that's the area. That's the area that's being dug out. Remember the work gangs that were digging it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I did scout that a very little bit.
They used to be at the
Thanks.
yeah
We're on our way to the bog, is what I heard.
this.
Yeah.
That is what you're seeing when with the dissolution. Zombies and skeletons excavating something. This big, weird, shiny, metallic-looking mound in the background. But she says that's where basically all of the vampires in the Bonegarden call that place home.
I guess that answers one of my other questions, which was what we've seen here so far has been zombies, skeletons, but we haven't
Oh yeah,
really.
above ground, the common types of undead, zombies, skeleton, ghouls, stuff like that, they're everywhere. You can't swing a cat by the tail without hitting one of them. Not that you'd want to swing a cat by the tail. That's cruel.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
To a
know.
person swinging the cat.
Think about it sometimes,
depends.
There's
especially at 3 o'clock in the morning.
there's a sea shanty about that, but
Oh yeah.
uh,
All right, so we're
you
making our
can
way to the
save a life at that if you can swing a
plague.
cat.
So you're going to the plague bog. How are you going to leave uh, descent?
The only way we know how is through the
Okay.
Valder mausoleums, right?
Okay. Yep.
We know too, but Balder
And
wants to.
it's been
Take,
a while. It is starting to get dark.
Yeah, we
So of
might want
course,
to.
you know that the Valder ghosts, based on what Ronnie told you earlier, the Valder ghosts are probably going to be back in the morning. But it is getting dark, so if you leave now, you won't have to deal with them because they won't have resurrected yet.
Yeah.
So
Jesus,
it's
that
your call.
but we
that
will
makes
have to
sense.
find our way back in, and we still haven't.
Yeah.
Uh, we still have yet to explore the Screamer Shaft.
Yeah,
Which is
I
down
guess
Seems
that's
here.
like an after nap thing.
Pardon me, Ronnie. Do you know of any other ways out of the descent back into the Bone Garden above ground?
Behind the refinery, there are stairs that lead to the tomb of the Valders. The Screamer's shaft is a difficult climb, but it will take you to the lair of Karth, the vampire. I mean, the Karth, the doomed warrior.
Hey,
Of course,
Mike, what was
you
his
got, yeah,
name?
you got, yes, you have met him.
And fought him. Yeah.
Yep.
Who's probably back by now.
Oh,
What was the what
it
was the
hadn't been
percentage?
night yet. It hasn't. It's not the next morning yet, but he'll be back tomorrow. Uh,
Let's see. We put him. No, I forget what exactly happened to his body again.
yeah, you left him in the cage where he had the people tied up.
Yeah, and so
Did we lock that
hopefully,
cage?
Yes,
He
so
might be
hopefully
strong
he
enough
can't
to.
get back out.
I think Johan locked that, right?
I think so. Yeah.
He might.
There are two paths beyond the mortuary, which is here. Um, the northern path leads to the under tunnels of the Varga ossuary. And number three. Let me get back to the main map that I'm looking at. Hang on, just a moment.
Pass past the what?
That leads the northern
Mortuary.
the northern path leads to the under tunnels beneath the Varga ossuary, which sounds
Which
familiar.
northern? There are like three northern.
This one.
One. Okay.
That leads to the
Well,
tunnels beneath the Varga ossuary. I keep wanting to say an ossuary.
don't we all?
Hey, I got a stupid question here, and this might be worth
Purple.
trying. It
22. Go
no.
ahead. Sorry, I'm just.
Unlike what you've come to expect, this is actually a relevant question.
Go ahead. Sorry.
out the guy that how we came into the Bone Garden. If we kill him, totally dismember him, whatever, and chuck his body out beyond the barrier, that might actually be a way to get rid of undead.
Can his body be chucked outside of the barrier,
Well,
though?
that's what I was kind of
Yeah,
leading to, and
No,
and the reason.
undead cannot leave the bone garden. Period.
What if they've
right.
been destroyed? They
Good
no longer
question.
be rising. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. And she says the southern path, which is would be this one, uh, will take you to the gardens of the. Will take you to the roses of the quiet gardener.
Gardener?
And you'll remember on the map that you saw upstairs, there was an icon of a rose.
Mm-hmm.
There's an
Uh,
icon, but we've never had any information based on this
right.
gardener.
Yep.
Could you explain more, please, Miss Emily?
The quiet gardener is was in life a druid. He is no longer. He tends a rose garden of his own design. Like many places in the Bone Garden, it is dangerous, and venture there with caution. The quiet gardener does not like to be disturbed, and cares deeply for the roses under his tent.
In the other path?
Uh,
The other path leads to the ossuary. North of the ossuary, south to the roses.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm presuming going south, using the stairs south of the processing plant, is gonna piss them off.
Well, how does
We
this
have
sound
this.
for a plan then? Spend the night at the buried living, get our rest, and in the morning, we go to the ossuary, since there are pieces of her heart there as well. And assuming that goes well, and we can get out of the ossuary on the surface, then we go to the plague bog. Does that sound good?
Yes,
Well,
yes. Maybe if
well,
we go to sleep, exit the system.
there you go. What we also know is that Karth is a single target, and although unlikely to still be bound in the cage that he was left,
His wife isn't.
his wife also didn't put up a fight.
She just like disappeared, right?
Well,
Right.
uh, Timber used his destroy undead ability on her
Ah,
because
okay.
she was a vampire.
Gotcha.
But she also didn't get up and attack.
Dude,
Right.
So what we do have is a single target or an unknown position with whatever distribution of forces, or a garden with. Uh, so we have 1, 5, unknown, unknown of our 4 exits. If we just do
Need
the
the
math,
Ghostbuster.
But we also need to, if we were to take an exit not close to the place we were going to, though it might be
the
easier
ground.
as an exit, we might have to fight more things on the way there, right?
True. However, we'd also be on the surface and at least have, you know, some measure or at least the possibility of seeing what we're getting into, as opposed to walking up into two unknown battlefields. Which,
Well,
while I do appreciate the strength of this group, however, I would mention that it would be wise, or at least
you do sound what you're like you know what you're talking about. So, all right.
what we could do is send up a, or we could just move up into Cart's tomb before he rises and make sure we have that area secured. However, a nice day of it in sounds very nice.
It is comfort, or at least the only comfort you're going to be able to find.
Precisely. And as a manner of, academic pursuits.
So, I think this is a good place to
Yeah,
call
I'm
it for
still like
tonight.
log out.
Huh? Yep. Well, maybe a good,
Yes, I'm
maybe a
still
good,
like log out one.
maybe a good night's sleep will let you log out. So we'll call it here. This is a good place to, you have some directions to go, and it looks like you've chosen. There's going to be a chance to prepare. I wasn't sure which way you were going to go with this, so now I know where you're going. I'll prepare, and we'll meet back here in 2. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you very
great.
much.
I
Yeah,
am
thank
You're
on
you.
welcome.
Bonegarden Session, I'm afraid. I will be in a time zone 6 hours ahead.
Right. Okay.
So that'll
We're
be like
No, you don't want
6 hours
to.
7
ahead.
a.m. to,
You want to play at 2 o'clock in the morning?
yeah, not exactly.
Fun.
All right.
Well, if you're up,
I'm
Right?
thinking
I
about
don't
how
think,
I'm dragging right now and
Yeah.
thinking,
Well,
All
yeah.
right. I want to go ahead and
I
stop
have to
recording,
start.
everyone. See y'all in 2.